This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Thanks for joining us here at 11 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin. Community members in Delaware County gathered together after a fire last week that left 3 people, including a 17-year-old high school student and her grandparents, dead. Tonight, RTV6's Graham Hunter met with friends and family who are sharing stories and remembering the lives that were lived, full of kindness and love.
When I first met Irie, she lit up the room.
Rose Jedd is the color guard director at the Westdale Middle and High School. Irie O'Shea was a key member of the team.
She was on the weapon line, and she also did saber line, so she was one of the high ones up there.
And always willing to lend a helping hand.
She also trained the younger students when I wasn't able to.
It's a quality that defines O'Shea's life.
She wanted to aspire to be a counselor.
Helping others is something O'Shea's friends remembered her for at a candlelight vigil Sunday night outside the school.
Irie was one of a kind. I was terrified of joining guard, and I'm a very shy person. In the first practice, she came up to me and was like, "Hi, I'm Irie. We're going to be friends." I was like, okay.
O'Shea spent time growing up with different relatives around Indiana, the last 2 years with her grandparents in Delaware County.
And then ultimately wound up here where she really found her tribe, and she really found the people around her that really kind of helped her come out of her shell and helped her grow.
And growing closer with her grandparents.
Kim was her rock, and Kim was an incredible human being.
This video is from the day O'Shea and her grandmother, Kimberly Porter, drove to O'Shea's driving test.
Jinx me. I'm not jinxing you. Good gravy. We're having fun. Fun. I'm so nervous.
O'Shea passed and loved driving around town. She was looking forward to college, being with her friends, and the holidays.
She loved Christmas. She loved shopping for Christmas. I think her biggest joy at Christmas was giving other people gifts.
O'Shea's life ended last week along with her grandparents, Kimberly and Daniel Porter. But it was the way she lived that will leave a lasting legacy.
And the joy of watching her learn things and experience new things is something that will be hard for us to not move on with, but something that was so amazing and so joyful to see.
She'll be dearly missed. I still can't get the thought that she's not coming back. I hope that light is still there.
Working for you in Delaware County, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
Graham, thank you. O'Shea's funeral is open to the public Monday morning at St. Mark's United Methodist Church in Bloomington. Visitation begins at 10 and the funeral service is at noon. Time now to get a first check here. Storm Team 6 forecast with meteorologist Kyle Mounds.
Yeah, Nicole, this morning we started off with temperatures in the 20s, but they warmed quickly all the way to 53 degrees this afternoon. A far cry from that average of 37 and a lot closer to the record of 61 degrees. Felt great when you combined it with those sunny skies. Now the clear skies are allowing temperatures to fall back. We're at 37, but the wind remains calm, and that's going to be the case here as we go through the next couple of days, really. Still at 42 in Martinsville. The rest of us generally in the 30s and even a couple of 20s out there. Richmond at 28, while it's 36 in Tipton. As you get ready to head out the door in the morning, no weather issues for you. Clear skies and temperatures right around 30 degrees.
Kyle, thank you. New at 11 o'clock, the community is answering a call to action to help a local pastor battling leukemia. It's a story we first told you about Wednesday. Pastor Avery Bush Sr. is preparing for his 7th round of chemo tomorrow morning. And this Christmas, he's praying for a miracle, finding a bone marrow match. July 5th was the day life took a turn for Avery Bush Sr.
July 5th told me that I wasn't as healthy as I thought I was.
The pastor of Christian Faith Baptist Church was diagnosed with leukemia, and since then he's gone through several rounds of chemo, knowing the cancer will likely keep coming back without a bone marrow transplant.
It's hard to even sometimes put in words because you just never expect something like this to happen to you personally, you know, but when it does, and it can, and so I'm a witness that it can.
There is currently no match on the National Stem Cell Donor Registry for Pastor Bush. Since our story first aired on Wednesday, Be the Match has received 120 online registrations, and 50 people showed up Sunday to a bone marrow registry drive.
Just so thankful how everyone has showed their support and just coming coming out and just praying and calling, what can we do, and can we be a match? What do we have to do? So it has just been a humbling experience.
You know, even though many of them probably were coming for me personally, but I hope that this could help someone in the future.
Natasha Brooks is one of those people that is responding to the call to help.
He's a great pastor. I've gone to his church when I was a kid, and he's done a lot for his community. He also married me and my husband, so I feel like this is a way to give back to him.
According to Be the Match, African Americans only represent 7% of the National Stem Cell Donor Registry. The chance of finding a donor if you are African American is only 23% compared to 77% for Caucasians.
There are thousands of patients every year that are suffering from either blood cancer or some other blood disorder that need a transplant, and so many of those patients do not have a match on the registry, so it's not just the one, it's thousands of them.
Be the Match wants people to know signing up to be on the registry is simple. It takes just 5 minutes to register and take 2 swabs of your cheeks to collect your cells. It's 5 minutes that could help save a life. Pastor Bush and his loved ones hope that it's his.
I'm still here, and there's still hope.
Well, you can register online for the Stem Cell Donor Registry by going to join.bethematch.org or by texting Pastor Bush to 61474. After that, you will be sent a kit in the mail to complete your swab test. The man who fired shots at police during a standoff in Randolph County has died. State police say John Ressatar died this weekend at an Indianapolis hospital. Around 3 p.m. Friday, officers responded to a house in the 800 block of West Church Street in the town of Lynn on report of a domestic situation between Ressatar and his wife. While the officers spoke with his wife, Ressatar allegedly shot at them with a rifle. During the nearly 6-hour standoff, Ressatar fired several rounds from inside the house. In all, 3 officers were hit by shrapnel from the rifle fire. Their injuries were not life-threatening, but SWAT officers entered the house around 8 p.m. and found Ressatar unconscious and suffering from a gunshot wound. RTV6 is working for you and getting results. Improvements are now in place at an intersection in Franklin Township following our story. An accused drunk driver did not stop at a stop sign at the intersection of Shelbyville Road and 5 Points Road, killing 18-year-old Isaac Oldham in September. While taping that story, a woman stopped and expressed her concerns about the number of drivers not stopping at stop signs. She recalled at least 3 deadly crashes over the years here. Well, we reached out to DPW, and they have now installed stop ahead signs, an effort to warn drivers of the 4-way stop. They have also installed additional stop signs on the left side of the roadway across from the existing stop sign on the right side, creating a 4 double stop intersection. DPW says there may be an intersection improvement in the future, such as a roundabout or traffic signal, but what's appropriate has not yet been determined. Indiana conservation officers are investigating the shooting of a bald eagle in Lawrence County. The eagle that was found wounded on Friday afternoon just south of the White River near Dixie Highway. Despite efforts by DNR officers, the eagle later died. A reward is being offered to anyone with information concerning this investigation. There's an anonymous tip line at 1-800-TIP-IDNR. A reminder now from the Carmel Fire Department, the Safe Haven baby box installed at the station is only to be used for newborn infants. Someone left 2 kittens inside the box on Friday. Firefighters opened the box to find a small pet carrier and 2 kittens, along with a note explaining that their owner had passed away and there was no one to take care of them. While they acknowledge the kindness behind this act, officials say the boxes are not designed or intended to take animals. The goal of Safe Haven baby boxes is to make it so that mothers have a safe place to surrender their newborns anonymously. There are currently 17 boxes installed across the state of Indiana. Indianapolis Animal Care Services is putting out a call for help just days before Christmas. The shelter says it's overflowing with animals and shared these pictures of dog crates lining the hallways. IACS is open for adoptions from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow before it is closed for Christmas Eve and Christmas. The shelter also shared a holiday wish list. They need donations of dog and cat food, litter, chew toys for dogs, and leashes. Coming up, new documents released by the White House. What they suggest about the president's interest in Ukraine before the infamous phone call that led to the impeachment investigation. So you've got the presents all lined up. Now comes the next holiday challenge, getting them wrapped up nice and neat, but don't sweat it. We have some tips that should cut your wrap time in half. Kyle.
And our weather very quiet. In fact, over the next several days right through Christmas, a dry forecast. I'll let you know where active weather could slow down your holiday travel, though. You're watching RTV6 News at 11.
We have the meat.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
The latest now in the impeachment investigation. New documents released under a Freedom of Information Act request show President Trump asked about aid to Ukraine as early as June. That's several weeks before his July 25th phone call with Ukraine's president. Here's ABC's Rachel Scott with the details.
Newly released documents this weekend are prompting questions about efforts to withhold military aid to Ukraine. The Trump administration was forced to hand over communication between government officials who discussed freezing $400 million of military aid to Ukraine. Among the documents obtained by the Center for Public Integrity, heavily redacted emails from Michael Duffy, a senior official with the Office of Budget Management, directing the Defense Department to hold off on sending military aid to Ukraine and to limit the people who were told about this request. That email coming just 90 minutes after President Trump's controversial phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky. These documents fueling calls by Democrats to have witnesses at a Senate impeachment trial. The House voted to impeach the president on Wednesday, but House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is withholding the articles of impeachment from the Senate until she sees how the trial will be structured. Republican Senator Ron Johnson calling Pelosi's decision bizarre and says the articles are pretty thin.
They had to rush to this impeachment vote, and then all of a sudden she's sitting on it.
But Democratic Senator Doug Jones says Johnson is making the case for why there should be witnesses.
If he really believes it's thin because the President of the United States ordered his top people who were in the room, who have firsthand knowledge, not to testify.
Republicans believe there is support in the Senate for a quick trial with no witnesses. Democrats disagree.
We don't know what the witnesses will say. We don't know what how the documents will read. They might exonerate President Trump, or they might further incriminate him.
With lawmakers on a holiday recess, a cloud of uncertainty now hangs over the timeline and scope of an impeachment trial. Rachel Scott, ABC News, West Palm Beach, Florida.
Rachel, thank you. Did you put off your holiday shopping to the last minute again this year? Well, tonight, some important deadlines to keep in mind. Tonight is the cutoff for Amazon Prime members to get some of those wish list items under the tree on time. Next day and even same-day delivery are also still options on Amazon, but the options are increasingly limited. Target is offering same-day delivery through Christmas Eve, too. Or if you're mailing gifts yourself, you still have time until tomorrow using the U.S. Postal Service's Priority Express, UPS's Next Day Air, and FedEx's Express overnight options. And if you haven't wrapped your gifts yet, we are going to show you how to cut that wrapping time in half. Here's Annie Taylor.
Procrastinators or money savers, we have some unique tips from gift wrapping expert Cami Witulski to save you from a holiday headache. First up, we've all been there. We've either cut the wrapping paper too short or it's the end of the roll. Cami says don't throw it out. Turn the gift sideways and you should be able to wrap it with no issues. Next up, don't have wrapping paper or it's just too expensive? Cami says there's nothing wrong with using tissue paper.
Tissue paper comes in a very nice packaging nowadays. You can get multiple designs in one package for just a few dollars. And it's usually between 20 to 30 sheets of tissue per package. So that's plenty for you to do a lot of gift wrapping.
But remember to use 2 to 3 sheets so you don't see the gift and the tissue doesn't rip. Soft items like clothes, they can be hard to wrap, especially if you don't have a box. Cami suggests using 2 sheets of tissue. Roll the item up, place on the tissue, and then start to roll up the clothes into the tissue, making it look like a piece of candy. Use ribbon to tie the ends, and it's the perfect little Christmas treat. I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
All right, well, regardless of what you have to do the next couple of days, traveling, last-minute shopping, it's going to be pretty nice.
Yeah, the weather's cooperating very nicely here. We don't have any snow, no rain in the forecast the next several days, so a nice quiet stretch of weather, and it's going to get warmer here. Let's look across the country, though, because if you do have some travel out of state, travel's not going to be as nice. You can see this big storm system over the southeast. Actually, a tornado watch in South Florida tonight, but this system is not going to impact central Indiana. It continues to move away. Also, system there moving through California, and also a little bit of rain there in the Pacific Northwest. But as mentioned, all is nice and quiet here in the Hoosier State. We've got a nice 37-degree temperature, 41 for you in Martinsville, 33 in Kokomo and Bloomington, and 39 in Muncie right now. Tonight with those clear skies, very light or calm wind, our temperature dipping down to around 29 degrees. Certainly still chilly here for the overnight, but the afternoon on Monday, those numbers are going to warm quickly with sunshine returning to the area already in the lower 40s for the lunch hour. And as we get to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, middle 50s, so just slightly warmer than what we had this afternoon. Of course, that means we're going to melt a lot more of that snow away. And that's also why we're a little bit cooler in Danville at 52. And you can see those temperatures getting a little bit warmer as we work our way to the south. Bloomington at 57, 53 in Columbus for your afternoon. Then Tuesday, the big travel day here. Not a whole lot's going to change in central Indiana. More sunshine and those temperatures making their way to 40 at 10 a.m., 53 as we get to 2 o'clock. Mostly sunny and about 56 Tuesday afternoon. And Christmas Day itself, increasing the sunshine and the temperature here. It looks like we'll have numbers pushing 60 degrees by Wednesday afternoon. So if you are doing some last-minute traveling there, once again, Christmas Day is in pretty good shape. And it is going to be in near-record territory, certainly top 5 of warmest Christmases on record here for central Indiana. You can see the warmest 64 degrees, that 58 that we're expecting. That would put us at number 4 on the list. Next 7 days of your planning forecast, and we're going to keep the mild stretch going here. There, even the overnights are moderating a little bit. We've got a low of 37 by the time we get into Christmas morning. That's the average high for this time of year, so not bad. Even 60 on Thursday as we increase the cloud cover here for the end of the week. But we are dry through Friday. Looks like Saturday is our next best chance for some rain, and it cools down a little bit on Sunday, but still in the 40s.
That 7-day, 50s and 60s the week of Christmas.
The first full week of winter here looking pretty nice.
I like it. Thank you, Kyle. Well, the Colts' playoff hopes may have been dashed, but that didn't stop them from coming out like champions at their final home game of the season. Highlights from the Panther Purge when we come back.
1,000-mile warranty at Honda of Fishers.
One final home game for the Colts in 2019. It had been a disappointing December so far, but the Colts gave their fans plenty to enjoy this afternoon. A 38-6 win over the Carolina Panthers. Brad Brown was at Lucas Oil Stadium and has the recap.
Let's be honest, it can be hard to get excited about a Week 16 game when neither team has any playoff considerations in the running. But the Colts certainly did what they could to entertain fans here at Lucas Oil Stadium this afternoon on their way to a 38-6 win over Carolina, their 7th victory of the season. Let's start with the defense. They were definitely the unit today that really got plenty of attention as they kept Carolina out of the end zone. Backup quarterback Will Greer was frustrated all day. 3 takeaways on the afternoon, couple of interceptions for Pierre Desir. All in all, the Colts D making up for a couple of difficult weeks ahead of this one.
We were just playing for each other, just flying around, having fun. You know, it's always hard when you know your season is over to come to work. But, you know, we have so many great group of guys, that want to work hard, continue to get better. And that's what we're trying to do, just continue to get better, work on what we need to work on, and go out there with a victory.
Man, it felt great. I mean, I don't even know when our last win was, so it definitely feels great to kind of get back out there and get a victory.
On the offensive side, the Colts were good, not great, but certainly a couple of milestones on Sunday. Marlon Mack able to go over 1,000 yards on the season rushing, just the second time in the last dozen years that the Colts have done that. A good performance from several other guys as well, as the Colts finally getting back on track with the offense that they hoped we would have seen all season.
I think we haven't been ourselves these past few weeks, man. And we finally got back to it. More guys relaxing, having fun, and just going out there playing ball. Guys get nicked up, man. Guys step up, man. Those guys have been balling out all season, man. I'm truly grateful for them. Even my tight ends, man, that come in and block Mo, Jack. all those guys have been balling out this season. I'm truly grateful for them.
And how about the special teams? Nyheim Hines with a record-setting performance here in Week 16. It had been 7 years since the Colts had a single punt return for touchdown, but he took care of that with a long 84-yard return for a score in the second quarter. And for an encore, he did it again in the fourth quarter. But you got to wonder why Hines maybe hadn't been doing this all season. For Nyheim, the culmination of the hard work in 2019.
When I can catch the ball and look down, that means those guys have already done their job. And honestly, when I have to make one or two guys miss, that's really not really me. That's the rest of the guys on the team. I had to make, like, on both returns, I think I had to make one or two guys miss, and everybody else was blocked. So really, that's really the return guys. It's not really me. So really, honestly, I wish I could bring them all up here for me. But those are the guys who really made it happen.
You know, he said he's going to give a Christmas present to everybody on that punt return team because, I mean, those guys made incredible blocks. You know, some guys pulled off when they had the chance to go for a decleater and maybe get a flag. And those are huge momentum shifts in the game. I mean, you get one of those as a team. On the other side, you're probably a little bit defeated. So can't say enough about Nyheim. Just an incredible player, selfless teammate, and just an incredible runner.
So this will be the final dose of football Colts fans get here for the 2019 season, as it'll be next August before we see them here again. The Colts close out the regular season next Sunday in Jacksonville. At Lucas Oil Stadium, Brad Brown, RTV6 Sports.
Team 6 working for you.
With the hustle of last-minute holiday shopping underway, a group of volunteers took some time today to pause and help bring smiles to the face of others this Christmas. Maddie Smiles volunteers gathered at Giacomo's Pizza to finish their Winter Act of Kindness project. This year, they're making no-sew blankets for people battling cancer or babies in the NICU. The nonprofit is dedicated to spreading smiles by performing and encouraging random acts of kindness. They do this in honor of Maddie, who was born with spina bifida and blessed her loved ones on Earth for nearly 20 years. They say her smile could light up a room and brought joy to others, and now they are trying to do the same thing.
I know that Maddie received blankets while she was in the hospital several times, and my mom did, and I know how much it meant to both of them, and I think other people know and have received and definitely want to give back to people that are in need this year.
I learned that it's better like to help or give instead of just like taking and keeping for yourself. Give those to actually need it.
I just hope to see joy on kids' faces.
Like the smile and getting something really, really soft.
They plan to deliver all those blankets tomorrow and on Christmas Eve. A Utah man has put some technology under his skin that lets him unlock his Tesla with just a wave of his hand, and that is not all he can do with the 4 chips in his hands. Ben Workman is one of a few people around the world who are turning to cybernetic implants. Simply speaking, they're different kinds of computer chips that let you do different things. With his, Workman can unlock his car, also unlock doors at work, plus log on and off of his computer and share contact information. The process to get the chips into Workman's hands was not simple.
On the first 2, I actually didn't have anyone. I tried going to a veterinarian, to a doctor, to a piercing studio. No one would do it.
Well, Workman ended up getting a family member to do it for him. The Tesla key required a bit more work, so Ben managed to convince a piercing studio to help him. Workman also has a magnet in his left hand. He uses it for magic tricks, of course, and he now wants to put a chip in his hand that lets him pay for things without a credit card or phone. That is a bizarre story, Kyle.
No, I'm all about a smart home, but no, we're not
wow.
putting things in our hands. All right, next few days, great looking forecast here all the way through Christmas Day. Gradually a little warmer each day. Those highs approaching 60 with sunshine on Christmas Day.
All right, Kyle, thank you, and thank you for joining us. Good Morning Indiana starts at 4:30. Have a great night.